The New York Jets are taking on the Atlanta Falcons at home this Sunday. I'm excited for this one. Are you? Let me know in the comments because I have a feeling not a lot of you guys are excited at all about this game. The Jets are 2-9, taking on an Atlanta Falcons team that are coming off a big win of their own against a bad team in the New Orleans Saints. This past Sunday, the Jets are coming off their second straight loss. They lost to the Patriots and the Ravens, two teams that are relatively good. The Atlanta Falcons, not a good football team, but there's a good story in this game that I think that us Jets fans are going to be intrigued about, which is a homecoming, the return of Jeff Ulbrich, the former defensive coordinator of the New York Jets, our interim head coach last year when Robert Saleh got fired. He is coaching up that defense, and the Atlanta Falcons, the one thing they have, which we'll talk about in this video, is a very young and promising defense that the New York Jets are going to have to keep their minds sharp in order to be able to execute offensively, led by Tyrod Taylor and Tanner Engstrand. So in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into everything you need to know about this matchup between the Jets and the Falcons. And the first thing we got to talk about is what even is there to watch, because the Jets winning and losing, there's not really much to think about in terms of fighting for a playoff spot. The Jets are obviously eliminated mathematically, I think they are, in making the playoffs. And whether the Jets win or lose this game, it's not really about that in my eyes. It's more about evaluating exactly this roster. And, I talk about the tank all the time in terms of where my mind is at. I'm always rooting for the wins, and I prefer the Jets to win games and seeing this team go out there and do what they can do and execute. But when it comes to this matchup, if you look at the next 4 games, by the way, the Jets have an easier schedule, and I think you should prepare yourself for the Jets to get at least 2 wins in the next 4 games. That's at least my prediction. I could be wrong. We got the Falcons, I believe, Dolphins, and the Saints, and then the Jaguars. The Jaguars are the only team that has a winning record that the Jets will be facing off against in the next 4 games. So could the Jets do something here? You never know. But Tyrod Taylor being the quarterback against the veteran Kirk Cousins is going to be an interesting one. If you guys did not see, Penix Jr. is out for the season, so Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Drake London, I believe, is going to be not in this game, which is a big plus for the New York Jets in terms of worrying about their offensive playmakers, because the one thing that the Falcons do have is a lot of great players on offense. Kyle Pitts, not really great, never really lived up to the upside, but they still have Bijan Robinson, arguably one of, if not the best running back in football. Well, not the best, because I think Jonathan Taylor has established that this year, right? But he's still a legit superstar running back in my eyes. Tyler Algier, a really good running back behind him that you still got to worry about. And the offensive line that they have is relatively really well, especially on the ground. The Jets defense is going to really have to be able to attack their run gapping scheme, because the one thing that the Atlanta Falcons do well is run the football. And with Kirk Cousins being back there at quarterback, the pass rush is going to be on their A game. So when it comes to the matchups to watch in this one, the first one is definitely going to be the Jets front 7 against the Atlanta Falcons offensive line. The Jets have been really good against the run. These past 2 games, I believe I saw a stat where the Jets are like the number 1 football team in the league to be against the run the last 2 games against the Patriots and the Ravens. And going up against the Ravens, that's pretty impressive. Going up against Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, limiting the game on the ground. So how are the Jets going to be able to go up against this potent run game? Bijan Robinson has kind of took a step back these last few weeks in terms of production on the ground, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Jets are going to be able to go up against that run attack. Are they going to be able to limit them? Harrison Phillips has been fantastic against the run. Jawan Briggs as well. Jermaine Johnson's getting his nose dirty. Jamian Sherwood has been playing really good football against the run lately, as well as Jarvis Brownlee Jr. out of the nickel. So I'm really excited to see how this team looks against the run, establishing their mindset. But the big thing about this game I'm looking at on the offense is the Jets establishing the run on their side of the football, because this team is supposed to be about running, grounding and pounding the rock with Breece Hall, and they've been struggling running the football consistently. Breece Hall was limited against the Ravens, averaged like 3-something yards per carry, got very limited. He had one really good drive, which was more through the air, a check down and a screen pass, and then he took it, almost the distance. Then he fumbled the rock, of course, on that run in the red zone. But I feel like the Jets establishing a run game is important if they want to really open up the pass attack to see what Tyrod Taylor can do with the new playmakers of A.D. Mitchell and John Mechie still trying to get their rhythm as the wide receivers in this team. We all understand Garrett Wilson's still not playing. So I think that in order for this Jets offense to actually open up in the air, it starts on the ground. So, it's not going to be easy. The Falcons do have a good defense. They have a good defensive line as well. So I'm looking at this offensive line. Armand Membu, Joe Tippmann, the right side, Myers, Fashio on the left side. Can they really hone in on the run, because I hate seeing this Jets team hand the ball off to Brees and he just doesn't really have anywhere to go, and it's a gain of 2 yards, gain of 3 yards, stuffed at the line. Like, I want to see 6 yards, 10 yards, an explosive. Give it to Isaiah Davis. Let him do his thing. And maybe get a little bit more creative on offense instead of just handing the ball off to Isaiah Davis on 3rd down when it's 3rd and 5. So I'm really curious to see if the Jets can adjust to more of an aggressive mindset through the air. But again, that starts on the ground. So that's definitely something to watch. Are the Jets going to still focus on John Mechie out of the slot? Is he going to be opening up his route tree and become another player to be excited about in terms of consistency? Because if he can do what he's done the last 2 games consistently for the rest of the season, we got something special here, folks, in John Mechie. Now, is this going to be the breakout game for A.D. Mitchell? We've all been waiting for him to get really going. He only has 3 catches on a lot of targets, so he has not had a great start to his Jets career in A.D. Mitchell, but he's going to have a tough task against a pretty good secondary, and I think that the Jets are going to still give him his targets. Tyrod is going to find him, but it's up to Tyrod to be on time and be in rhythm and find his guy as often as possible in Mitchell, because that's somebody that I really am not going to hold out hope for. I really do believe he has what it takes to be a big-time difference maker in this league. He's got the size, he's got the athleticism, and the hands is something that he's got to be able to figure out. The route running, I mean, the guy, whenever the ball is in his hands, he has the twitchiness. He has the athleticism. So A.D. Mitchell, the Jets wide receiver, maybe this could be his breakout game where he gets 3 to 4 catches for 50-plus yards, maybe a touchdown. You never know. With Tyrod Taylor throwing the rock, you never know what's possible because he's not afraid to throw the ball, as we saw against the Baltimore Ravens. He's going to sling the rock, give his playmakers opportunities. Hopefully, Tanner Engstrand can be creative in order to do just that. Now, a guy that I want to highlight real quick that is such an interesting player this season, which is the edge rusher, Will McDonald. He gets his sacks in bunches, and now he's all of a sudden ice cold again. After having a breakout game, 4 sacks a few weeks ago, he has done nothing, right? He needs to be able to get a little bit more consistent because, that's someone that we really want to evaluate to be our blue chip edge rusher getting to the quarterback. It's like he looks great, unblockable one game, and then he doesn't touch the quarterback or come close the next game. So I'm going to call out Will McDonald and see if he can have a big-time game against a relatively great offensive line. Kirk Cousins is a statue of a quarterback. All you got to do is get to him, and you're going to sack him. He is good at getting the ball out fast, Kirk Cousins, because he mentally processes things very well. But I'm going to call out Will McDonald because, he had a sack in week 1. And then he went like 7 games in a row without a sack, and then he had 1 sack and then 4 sacks, and now he has another sackless streak that we're seeing. So I want to see a little bit more consistency from Will McDonald. Same thing goes for Jermaine Johnson. Let's see if he can get to the quarterback because those 2 guys on the defensive line are the guys that we are really holding our hope for to hold down the defensive end position for the future, right? Jermaine Johnson is under contract for next season, 2026, for his 5th-year option. Will McDonald is under contract for the next 2 years as well. So those 2 guys are the starters on the defensive end. And then after that, there's a big drop-off of talent. Michael Clemens, pending free agent. Braden McGregor, undrafted free agent, who is not a good football player. And then the defensive line inside, Jawan Briggs has been playing really good, a gem that the New York Jets found in August. Same thing goes with Harrison Phillips. So I think the defensive line is definitely going to be something we're going to watch. Now, when it comes to the rookies, you're always got to keep your eyes on rookies in these games. A guy that I'm going to keep an eye on is Azareye'h Thomas. Unfortunately, I kind of wish Drake London was playing in this game because I wanted Azareye'h Thomas to get reps against a very good wide receiver in Drake London. And he's one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL, by the way, Drake London. If you look at his numbers, he's absolutely sensational this season. So him being out is going to be a big-time adjustment for the Jets. They don't have to worry about him. But Azareye'h Thomas is somebody that I'm going to keep a close eye on because when the Jets traded Sauce away, Aaron Glenn went up to him and said, "You are our guy. We believe in you." And a big reason why the Jets traded Sauce was because of Thomas. And I think that's a big part of the trade. A lot of people are forgetting. It's not like the Jets are going to have to be super aggressive in the offseason to replace Sauce. They feel like internally that they have Sauce's replacement already on this team, and that is the rookie Azareye'h Thomas, who unfortunately has had a very up-and-down rookie season because he got injured in training camp, and then when he was healthy, he was on the bench, and then he never really got his opportunity, and now he's getting his opportunity. He gets banged with a concussion, so he's not really had a chance to get consistently playing football on a week-to-week basis. So last week against the Ravens was his first game back. Hopefully this week he can stay healthy for the remainder of the season. He showed signs of really good play at a good coverage snap, I remember, against the Ravens, but then he got beat from DeAndre Hopkins off the line. Lamar Jackson, he missed him. It would have been a touchdown, but he just overthrew him. He had a face mask on him, but they called a holding penalty on Thomas. So up and down season from Azareye'h Thomas. That's somebody I'm going to keep a close eye on. Malachi Moore, the Jets starting safety, the rookie from Alabama, is another guy I'm going to keep a close eye on, because if the Jets can find these rookies to become starters for the next season for cheap, that is a massive, massive hit. 3rd-round pick of Thomas, 4th-round pick of Moore. You have guys like Kiko from Miami, the linebacker who is playing the 3rd linebacker position next to Quincy Williams and Jamie Sherwood. How is he progressing? Are the Jets going to start getting Mason Taylor the rock a little bit more? Armand Memu keeps taking a jump forward every single week. Are they going to utilize Arian Smith a little bit more? So these are all the rookies that you definitely got to keep a close eye on, because these are the babies of the Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji era. So every game we're looking at, you got to make sure you evaluate those specific players. And then also, the last thing I'll say is in terms of the mindset of these players, we talked about it already on the channel, but they're trying to establish the foundation, the nucleus of this team, and really develop winning ways and winning formulas. And I think that this is a very winnable game. I genuinely do. Like, against the Ravens, I didn't really have a lot of expectations of the Jets winning. The Jets are home underdogs in this one, because the Falcons are objectively the better football team with 4 wins to the Jets 2. But I think this is a winnable game, and I think it's going to be a really big test for the Jets. They're at home. It's not like the Jets have a home field advantage at all, being at MetLife Stadium, but we shall see. Let me know in the comments, what's the percent chance that you guys have the Jets winning? Do you think they're going to lose? I think this is a winnable game. Sound off in the comments and let me know your thoughts, because it's going to be interesting. And I want to remind everybody, if you are interested to coming to this event, I haven't even been plugging it, but I just want to let you guys know, we are doing a Roundtable Sports event for Jets Dolphins, not this week, but next week. And the tickets are relatively cheap. You get tickets to the Gotham City Crew tailgate. You get on the field after the game. You hang out with me and TD Finstock and the AFC East Roundtable guys. Go into the game, and that's not this week, but the week after, Jets Dolphins. Link is in the description if you are interested in coming to that game. Obviously, it's not going to be a meaningful divisional game, but it's the rivalry game, and you also get a free jersey if you are one of the first 5 Jets fans to purchase your ticket. So that link is in the description if you're interested in coming, of course. And I also want to give a big shout out to Sleeper for being the proud sponsor of Jets Media all season long. Don't forget to check them out. Link at the top of the description. Using the code JETS will get you 100% deposit match up to $100. Also $20 for free on your first bet if you are interested. Please bet responsibly, of course. I love you guys. I'm out of here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you did not already, hit the like button, and let's go Jets. I'm out. Peace.